Hey everybody, okay, this is your Monday Movin' and Groovin' with Dre and Jo. Joe took over last week. I'm going to take over this week. So I've been having some technical issues with Zoom, so I'm just going to record this on my phone, and I'm not going to be able to do a complete sharing of screen, but I'm going to take my phone and show you some screenshots, and that's just how it's going to happen today. Did you hear the news? Oh my word. Joe said it on Facebook Live. You guys, this is such an exciting time to move up in Mary Kay to a director level. And you can be in with 8, so DIQ in with 8, but now your second line count for you to finish DIQ. This is amazing. Huge opportunity for each of you. Now let's just understand also, you're always going to make more money with personal recruits. And I know personally, I've always been taught to have a unit of 30 personals. And that is so helpful because your paycheck's going to be bigger. So don't get too excited about just always meeting, having your second line count and not necessarily being a great leader. Because speed of the leader, speed of the gang. And Joanna is the best example, having been a triple star director multiple times. And that's my goal this year, is to follow in her footsteps and be on the National Court of Sales and the National Court of Sharing and, of course, Unit Club. So as we start our call today, I want to actually read a story. And this is from Emotional Intelligence. We are doing the Race for Red, week number 4, and Joanna gave you a little preface to start working on the homework. And I think this is a really great story, so bear with me here for a minute. The warm Californian sun greeted Butch Connor as he stepped out of his truck and into the sands of Salmon Creek Beach. It was the first day of a long holiday weekend, and a perfect morning to grab his board and head out for the surf. Most of the other surfers had the same idea that morning, and after 30 minutes, Butch decided to leave the crowd behind. He penetrated the water's surface with long, deep strokes that propelled him away from the pack and over to a stretch of beach where he could catch a few waves away from the crowd. Once Butch had paddled a good 40 yards away from the other surfers, he sat up on his board and bobbed up and down in the rolling swells while he waited for a wave that caught his fancy. A beautiful teal wave began to crest as it approached the shoreline, and as Butch lay down on his board to catch the wave, a loud splash behind him stole his attention. Butch glanced over his right shoulder and froze in horror at the sight of a 14-inch gray dorsal fin cutting through the water toward him. Butch's muscles locked up and he lay there in a panic, grasping for air. He became hyper-focused on his surroundings. He could hear his heart pounding as he watched the sun glistening on the fin's moist surface. The approaching wave stood tall to reveal Butch's worst nightmare in the shimmering, translucent surface. A massive great white shark that stretched 14 feet from nose to tail. Paralyzed by the fear coursing through his veins, Butch let the wave roll past, and with it, a speedy ride to the safety of the shoreline. It was just the shark and him now. It swam in a semicircle and approached him head on. The shark drifted in slowly along his left side, and he was too transfixed by the proximity of the massive fish to notice his left leg dangling perilously off his surfboard in the frigid salt water. It is as big around as my Volkswagen, Butch thought as the dorsal fin approached. He felt the sudden urge to reach out and touch the shark. It's going to kill me anyway. Why shouldn't I touch it? The shark didn't give him a chance. The shark, with a massive chomp of his jaws, thrust his head upward from underneath Butch's leg. Butch's leg stayed on top of the shark's rising, boulder-sized head and out of its cavernous mouth, and he fell from the opposite side of his surfboard into the murky water. Butch, splashing into the water, sent the shark into a spastic frenzy. The shark waved its head about maniacally while snapping its jaws open and shut. The great white struck nothing. It blasted water in all directions as it thrashed around. The irony of floating alongside a 3,000-pound killing machine without so much as a scratch was not lost on Butch. Neither was the grave reality that this apex predator was unlikely to miss again. Thoughts of escape and survival flooded Butch's mind as quickly and completely as terror had in the moments prior. The shark stopped snapping and swam around Butch in tight circles. Instead of climbing back on his surfboard, Butch floated on his belly with his arms draped over the board. He rotated the board as the shark circled, using the surfboard as a makeshift barrier between himself and the man-eater. Butch's fear morphed into anger as he waited for the beast to strike. The shark came at him again, and Butch decided it was time to put up a fight. He aimed the sharp, pointed nose of the board at the shark as it approached. When it raised its head out of the water to bite, Butch jammed the nose of the board in the shark's slotted gills. This blow sent the shark into another bout of nervous thrashing. Butch climbed aboard his board and yelled, "Shark!" at the pack of surfers down the beach. Butch's warning and the sight of the turbulent cauldron of white water around him sent the surfers racing for dry land. He ended up getting to the beach, but I wanted to share most of that story for the preface on our call today for Race for Red. Today we're talking about a few things, and I'm going to turn our camera. Let me see if I can come over here. We're talking about integrity, we're talking about commitment, and we're talking about here let me show you my screen, as we have Race for Red week number 4. So why can't I find it? Week number 4, here we go. I'm going to turn you around here for a second, guys. Am I going to turn you around? All right, it's not letting me turn around. Okay, we'll just have to turn around this way. Can you see Race for Red, okay? So I'll just have to do it this way. Sorry, technical problems today. So we're at week 4. So my 4 C's: communication, affirmation phrases, and managing the nose. We're going to begin with this video of managing the nose. And I think it's going to tie into the story I just told you beautifully. Managing the nose is a video with Linda Chestnut Tupin. Here we go.
You know what? Do not be scared of no's. It's all knowing how to handle the no's. They aren't personal. First of all, when someone says no, you want to always remember to ask 3 questions connected to the word no. Is that no not now? Is that no ever? Or if it's no not now, then ask, who do you know? Asking for referrals is a natural part of the no process because they just may not be interested in what you're offering at that moment. Just like someone offered me gum a while ago and I said no because I didn't need gum right now. It wasn't personal. Well, when you think about no not now, always remember to say, who do you know? 1/2 of my national area came from 2 no's. I remember I was a brand new consultant just like many of you, and I was working on my Power Start, and I asked a lady if she would let me borrow her face for the Power Start, one of my Practice 30 faces. And she said no, and she said kind of not very nice, but I was actually too naive to realize that she wasn't being very nice, and I went, oh, well, who do you know? So maybe you could just practice your naivety and just go, oh, who do you know? And she said, my daughter. I think my daughter would love what you have to offer. And so I set up a facial. Long story made short, 1/2 of my national area came from that and 1 other no. So you just never know what's around the corner from a no. But realize that a lot of no's come because of a relationship that hasn't yet formed. So if you start getting no's, you might want to take a couple of steps back and ask yourself, do I have a good relationship with this person? And then how would I develop that relationship? Well, you develop relationships by sitting with someone, usually at a facial, just chit-chatting, getting to know them, asking questions about, where'd you grow up? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you lived here long? Being genuinely interested in other people. And the deeper that relationship can form in a matter of a few minutes or in that first 30 minutes, the more connected that person becomes, and therefore you're more unlikely not to get a no. So anytime you run into any objection in this company, whether it's a no or just an objection at the end of a class, just always remember to go back a couple of steps and re-look at the beginning of either your presentation or the beginning of the relationship. And let's firm up that relationship. Let's become genuinely interested in others and taking the time to get to know them and investing in that relationship. And I think you'll get a lot fewer no's. But remember, if they say no, you say, is that no right now or no ever? And you'll rarely get a no ever. And then always say, who do you know?
Okay, fabulous advice from Linda Tupin. Okay, so I'm going to be probably short and sweet today because when we talk about building our business, integrity, as I was taught in a leadership transformation course that I went through, is doing what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And this is a side that might sound a little deep, and being in an empowered state. Now that basically means that if you are thinking down on yourself, an empowered state means that you understand that you are made from Christ's image. You are powerful. You are perfect. And when we are out of that truth, we are basically disempowered. And that's a lack of integrity. Now that's pretty deep, and I know. So let's just keep it simple. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it, or you apologize to those affected. You repromise when you will be able to do it, or you find somebody who can do it for you. And that's the importance. I mean, I'm just going to throw out their seminar. That's the importance. If we are not living in integrity, guys, it's really like a brick that's been chiseled away. It's not a complete brick. It's not able to do its job. It doesn't perform as function because it has been chipped away. And that's what happens when we're out of integrity. If we say somebody we're going to be our roommate and then we back out and we act like that's not a big deal because I had things going on and I understand that my life is more important than all of your situations. Of course it's selfish, but in the moment it might just sound like that's the most important thing to do. However, to be in integrity means something came up in my life. That doesn't discount what's happening in everybody else's life. It just means that I either find somebody who can do the job for me at the same time, or I just make it happen at a different time if that is okay with the party, like, the organization. So, making sure that you pay your bill even if you don't show up, or you find a replacement if it's a room. But being in integrity with ourselves is really, really, really important because that's where confidence comes from. So today's class is about building your confidence. And many a times we say we're going to do something and then we let ourselves down. And I'm just going to beg you, start today by really understanding that when you let yourself down, it affects your children. It affects your relationship with your husband. It affects your relationship with everybody. Why? Because you do not value who you are. And that can change just like this. It can change by starting to recognize, do you say yes to things that you really are not committed to? Are you saying yes to make people happy? Are you saying yes because you should do it, but there's something deeper? Now, let me change that for a second. I know that there are times where I have said, yes, I'm going to hold my power start, and then I don't. Now, does that mean that it's really not important to me? No. But what it does mean is that I'm out of integrity because I haven't been honest with myself on why I'm procrastinating. You mean procrastination has something to do with integrity? Actually, it does. If you find yourself lacking in confidence, it's just because you aren't doing something. Confidence comes when you follow through with your word. You become a confident person. I did my 10 dials. I met my 5 new contacts today. You become a confident person when you do what you say you're going to do. When you're procrastinating, there's actually some deep-rooted fear that you haven't been honest with yourself about. And I'm going to just pull this up for a second, because if you are in my 21-day mind shift, because shift happens if you make the change, you're going to understand more about brain. So our brain, I don't know if you can see this with the light. Okay, our brain's whole purpose is to protect us. Our brain senses change as fight, flight, or freeze. And we as women, see, men fight. That's what they do when they're confronted with fear or change. Women, we tend to flight, we run away, we hide. or we freeze and we don't do anything. We don't talk to anybody. We ignore. Okay, that's unfortunately what we do. It's just who we are. Okay, no bad about it. But we've got to ask ourselves, am I going to be better than that instinctual part of my brain? And you can control it instead of it controlling you. So what you have to do first is really be honest with what it is that's scaring you. What is it? Oop, I only have a couple minutes left. What is it that's getting in the way? Are you scared of everything going so well that you won't be able to handle it and then people will think you're a fraud? Are you afraid that you're not going to have the right words to say and then they're going to laugh at your face? Gotta be honest. What is it there for you? And here's the best part. Once you can be honest with yourself, you're going to find that it's all made up anyway. It's just a story that you're saying to yourself. Now remember this, the gentleman Butch that was on the surfboard and the shark is coming at him and his mind went into freeze and then he started getting ticked off and he said, I'm going to fight because I'm going to die anyway. Well, I'm going to tell you this. You're never, ever, ever going to see somebody who died because they went for a goal in Mary Kay. But you know what's worse? Is when somebody is walking around as a zombie because they're dead inside as they never took a chance. So Butch decided, okay, I'm going to fight this guy. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way to get out of this water. And we have an opportunity to really, really understand that we make up our own anxiety. It's not always true. Yeah, there might be some organization you got to get prepared so that you can handle some of the growth. Yes, you might need to hire somebody as you grow and be honest with, okay, I'm growing too fast. I need some help. The fear is something that once you face, it disappears. And that's why we want you to step into your greatness with us being your coaches, because we understand what happens with the brain and how you can start controlling these situations instead of saying next month, next month. How many years are going to go by until you truly step into the great woman that you are? Mary Kay's not hard, you guys. It's not hard, but it isn't easy. It's a simple business. What makes it hard for us is just our own stories in our brain that stop us. I'm not going to go over all of these things that are at the website. Understanding communication and understanding your 4 C's. Do those homework pieces, okay? Understand that when you start to become somebody who can affirm others, you're going to be the light and you're going to be the one that's the leader. You're growing as a leader because you're building up other people. If we were to ask the 10 people that surround themselves mostly with you and ask them, when you leave the presence of blank consultant, do you feel better about yourself or worse? If you're not moving up the career path, it might be because you're not making other people feel better about themselves. It still might all be about you. And this is a journey. This is a growth. Believe me, I've had to learn a lot along the way, but I'm so excited to tell you that you can be a woman of integrity. You can build your confidence. And as we've said many a times before, you fake it till you become it. I'm going to leave you with this one thought. Just like that shark, have you ever been around dogs and they can feel the fear, like a child who's scared of dogs? The dogs get more and more like upset or angry. Animals can feel the fear, smell the fear, but I think people can too. So are we affirming ourselves morning, noon, and night with audios, like literally sitting down, closing your eyes and listening to the affirmations that are out there that I posted at the 21-day hotline, 21-day mind shift challenge, the messages that you are working on your subconscious. When you so understand what you focus on grows. If you're focused on a no, you're going to get them. If you're focused on a yes, the no's aren't going to bother you. You're going to be able to understand, I'm not going to let them smell my fear because I'm excited about a yes. Can't wait to get a yes. Oh, you said a no? You're crazy. Okay, there's somebody else ready for a yes. And when you have enough people working and you're working with enough numbers, it's not going to bother you because you're like, she's crazy. I got all these other people saying yes. Keep on keeping on because the moment you stop, you dip in your momentum. And the reason that you build momentum is you just keep asking enough people in the beginning. Like that plane taking off. You got to keep asking enough people in the beginning. Hold on. Hey, Luke? Luke, is Miss Jordan there? Hold on, guys. Hey, I'm recording a video. I'm sorry, I'm recording a training video. So, hello, say hello. I wanted to say thank you so much.
What is happening?
Yeah, I know. So hold on, guys. Thank you so much.
Bad buns. He definitely likes those mango vanilla popsicles from Trader Joe's.
We've never had one.
Five.
What? Seriously? Oh my gosh! Thank you so much.
He's like, can I have another one? They're like really small.
That is so sweet of you.
Have fun at your dinner. The dinner hosting.
Thank you so much. I know. I thought I'd get into one of my training videos so tomorrow I can have my day off.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Thank you. Play dates. Okay, so last but not least, dogs can smell fear. Just like that shark could smell fear. He had to ground himself, take deep breaths, and fake it till you become it. And as I have given you visuals, the reason that you're still hitting perhaps the flight line and not gotten your airplane up off is you've got to believe the yeses are coming. The yeses are there. You're focused on those yeses and you're excited when you get a no. You've got to be excited because I'm going to guarantee if you go out and try to have 10 no's in a row, you're not going to do it. I guarantee you're not going to do it. And you're going to be excited when you get a no. Get excited. You're like, oh my gosh, that means I'm closer to a yes. Who cares if they're not interested? It breaks my heart, don't get me wrong. I've moved this new environment. I've had more no's than I've ever in my life. But guess what? Those no's, it wasn't a no never, as Linda Tupin said. It was a no because I don't really trust you and I have no idea what Mary Kay is. See, God put me here to break the ground and to have people see what Mary Kay really is. They have no clue. And sometimes that might be the case for you. You might be put in your environment because God wants you to be the light. Keep on keeping on, but go fast, because if you don't have momentum right now, it's because you don't have enough people and you're not working closely together with the next person. You're waiting too many hours or days, and you're just, as a plane takes off, you're going, to get that plane up and running. You've got to have a lot of people to ask in a short period of time so that those yeses can get you there, but then don't quit. Because even if you're up in the air, we've seen planes crash because they didn't do it long enough. You got to just keep doing it and expect those yeses. They're going to come. And understand that when people are saying no, they either truly are not ever, it might be floss. I met a person who never, ever flosses. I'm not going to change her mind to floss her teeth. Why hit my head against the wall? But I can just say, okay, if you change your mind, here I am. Who do you know that does floss? I'd love to bless them. That's how you got to take your business and understand that the seas of confidence, contagious, change, and complete are going to come. You're going to feel like a much more confident person when you honor your integrity and do what you say you're going to do and acknowledge to those who are expecting you. You guys, you act like, I think when we don't understand integrity, we think our actions don't matter, and it's not true. When you don't show up to training videos, when you don't show up to support or comment, it really does impact, and it's not always a positive. Your lack affects, just like your growth helps as well. We matter. All of us matter. And we love you so much. So I hope your Monday is awesome. I hope you move and groove this week. Don't forget, our Tuesday, Talk to Me Tuesday is a coaching. We are excited to find out who has been moving and grooving with their business. So turn in your weekly accomplishment sheet today. Make sure your monthly perfect star tracking sheet is turned in, and we want to see what your goal is for the month. And so take a picture and send it to us. You don't have to do it to the whole unit, just do it to your director. But those are the ones who are invited on the call Tuesday night. I'm really excited to work with each of you and to spend my time with people who are excited to bless other people and take accountability and track their success. Joe and I wish you a wonderful Labor Day, and we'll talk to you Tuesday. Make sure you comment below on the Facebook page that you have listened to this video, watched this video, and what your takeaway is, especially from the class week number 4, Race for Red. Bye-bye.